Alright everyone, welcome back again to more Tsukihime. Here we go.
多分嬉しいんだと思う。いろんな感情が溢れてきて、体がポワッとして、方が自分のものじゃないみたい。自分が今どんな顔をしているかわからないくらいに。ねえ、四季なら私がどんな顔をしているかわかるかな？
無茶言うな。抱き合ったまま顔を見られるもんか。でも
I adjust my grip slightly. Just enough to hold her tight.
でもきっと同じ顔をしていると思う。俺もさっきから方がバカみたいに緩みっぱなしだ。
Our bodies press together. We share a laugh. A joy far stronger than simple desire floods my chilled body with warmth.
ねえ、四季。
She whispers into my ear. A gentle, almost sleepy sound.
私を守ってくれるのなら、今夜は帰ってほしくない。
She nuzzles her face into my shoulder. There's only 1 hour left till dawn. When morning comes, our time together will be up. I know how she feels. I can't stand to be apart from her either. Arcwade's room hasn't changed a bit. We're the ones who've changed. I can just make out Arcwade moving behind me. My emotions are running wild. My body's urging me to turn around and pull her into my arms again. My thoughts, on the other hand, are surprisingly calm. I don't understand it very well. Maybe love is just that. A strange balance between sanity and insanity.
アルクエド。
I'm about to turn and face her. But just before I do, I feel the light touch of her fingers against my back.
振り向かないで。しばらくこのままでいて。
Her voice is calm. Her palm lies flat against my back, unmoving, as if she were checking something.
ねえ、四季。私が初めてあなたを待っていた時のこと、覚えてる？
覚えてるよ。自分が殺した相手がニコニコ顔で待ち伏せてたんだ。忘れられるわけないだろ
う。うん。あの時ね。私、あなたのことがすごく憎かった。
And who could blame you? Despite the subject matter, her voice is gentle and sweet.
もう自分でも吸血衝動は抑えられないと分かっていて。きっとこれが最後のチャンスだって覚悟してロアを追いかけて、ようやく見つけたと思った時に見ず知らずの誰かに殺されて、何もかも壊されてしまった。あの時の私にはただ憎しみしかなかった。そうして自分を殺した誰かを探し出して、あなたが来るのをね、あの道でずっと待っていたの。早く早く来なさい。私に気がついた瞬間に寸分たがわず同じ目に合わせてあげるからって。本当にあなたのことが憎かった。憎くて憎くて胸が張り裂けそうになるくらいずっと待ち続けていた。
Her fingers clutch the back of my shirt.
アルクエド。
でもね、私をあんな風に殺した相手なんて今までいなかった。少しだけどんなやつなんだろうって興味もあった。それにあんな風に誰かを強く思うなんてこと今までなかった。 初めはただ憎しみしかなかった。けどあなたはどんな人間なのかなって思った時、狂って反転しちゃった。
Well, that would explain her sudden mood change. I figured she'd be like absolutely livid and wanting to murder him.
もう1秒でも早く会いたくなった。私をあんな風に殺したやつ、私が初めて自分を見失うぐらいにずっと思い続けている誰かに。シキ、さっき言ったよね。一人は寂しいだろうって。私、そんなことはないと思ってた。けど、あんなにも苦しく誰かを思って、あなたを今か今かと待ち続けた時の気持ちは、すごく幸せだった。本当は今すぐにでも会いに行きたいけど、我慢して、あなたがやってくるのを待っていて、よかった。あの時間は楽しかったよ。すごくドキドキして、シキがどんな人なんだろうって勝手に想像したりもした。
Arkway pulls her hand away.
思えばね、その時から私は誰かを必要としてしまって、一人の自分を物足りなく感じてしまった。シキは私のことを好きだって言ってくれたけど、私はシキに会う前からあなた自身に恋をしてたんだなって。
Her voice is so precious. There's no need for me to hold back any longer. I spin around and pull her into my arms. Our lips meet. I'm not sure which one of us sought out the other first, but it's a tender embrace. Our lips are joined, like we're trying to sense each other's very being. I cease breathing as I drink her in. Her lips are soft beyond imagination. It's hard to fathom that we're connected like this. The thought alone is enough to send my mind into meltdown, though her actual touch is nothing but warm and inviting. She trembles ever so slightly, yet she doesn't seem the least bit afraid. With her closed eyes and cherry red cheeks, she's the epitome of beauty. The kiss is warm enough to take my breath away. I was ready head over heels for her. I never imagined that one kiss could make me love her so much more than I already did. We slowly part, our arms still carefully wrapped around one another. Our eyes peer into each other's depths.
今のキスだったね。
Her brilliant crimson eyes peer up at me. Wisps of golden hair trace her movements.
アルクエイド、こういうの嫌か？
ううん、私すごくドキドキしてる。
Sure enough, it beats loud enough for me to hear, and the sound is only matched by my own.
でもちょっと困っちゃった。私いいのかなって。
いいのかなって何が？
うん、だってね、シキ、唇を重ね合ったりする吸血鬼なんていないよ。
You haven't read enough of these stories, have you? My cheeks go red. She says it with a shy, teasing giggle.
But...
Just like that, it's checkmate. I'm totally defeated. I forget about everything. I even forget who I am. All that matters is the two of us, falling onto the bed in a tight embrace. I reach for her hair, for her bare flesh, but I restrain myself just in time. Oh man, I'm on the verge of hyperventilating. I can't make the same mistake again. No matter how much I want her, I can't let my own selfish desires take control. Arkway looks up from underneath me.
いいよ、シキ。あの時の続き しよう。
Her eyes glimmer with adoration and joy, seeming to offset any nerves she might be feeling. My breath meets hers. Our flesh melts together as one. Arousal and passion lay bare body and soul. As though we're assuring ourselves of the affection in our hearts, we seek each other out hungrily at times, gently at others. With a deep breath, I collapse into the bedsheets. For someone who never dreams, this is what I imagine it must be like. Arkway lies asleep next to me. Her fingers are still laced with mine, clutching my hand with a content look on her face. I feel a little bashful thinking about what we've just done. But having made love to her, I can't say I have a single regret. Except maybe, I wish I'd kept it together. If I had been more in control of everything, I could have savored the warmth of her skin and the flush in her face.
まだ無理かな。今はついていくのが精一杯だし。
I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep a cool head around Arkwade in the future. Even now, I was so enraptured by her I can barely remember what we did. All I remember is that it felt impossibly good. So good, it left me exhausted beyond belief. I don't think I could get up from the bed if I tried. Biting back a yawn, I watch over Arkwade's sweet visage. I really love her. And to think she actually reciprocated my one-sided feelings. Our forms of love might be different, but at the very least, I know Arkwade needs me too. That alone is enough to fill me with joy. Not just because I'm wanted, but because Arkwade, who has always been alone, decided she needed me.
そうだ。そうすれば、この先もきっと。
My consciousness starts to fade. Looks like I've just about reached my limit. I settle into the bedsheets, take a deep breath, and allow myself to drift into a deep, peaceful sleep. At some point while I'm sleeping, I dream that Arkway wakes up before me. She fidgets quietly, as if planning some clandestine mischief. I ask her what she's doing.
あれ、仕切ったら起きてたの？
Not so much awake as half asleep. Thanks to you, my body isn't really responding, my brain right now.
そっか。嬉しいけど、なんか恥ずかしいね。
Arkway giggles girlishly. It's a bit strange that I can see her with my eyelids closed, but she looks happy, so I don't linger in the details.
ねえ、シキ。
What's up? I ask her again. I'm sure she's tired too. It'd be better to rest till tonight.
もしもよ。もし私が本当の吸血鬼になったら、シキはどうするかな？
What a weird thing to ask. It's not like it'll happen anyway. She's terrified of drinking blood.
だから、もしもの話。生きるために他の生命を奪うことは、自然界じゃ当然の摂理だと言ったでしょ。だから、もしも、私がそうなってしまった場合の話。
Stop that. It won't happen. Besides, I already told you that I don't like what ifs.
そう？私はイフって好きよ。
I actually agree with him that I don't like what ifs either.
どんな結果になるかわからないけど、とりあえずその時は救いがあるような気がするから。
Right. I think you said something like that before.
うん。だから、シキがもっとひどいやつだったら、 私はどうしてたかなって。
Quaid?
大好きよ、四季。こんな気持ちを持たせてくれて、それを言葉として伝えさせてくれるなんて、本当に優しかった。
You're leaving, aren't you? What's happening? Is she crying?
それじゃあ、四季が目を覚ます前に行くね。面と向かってさよならが言えないから、これで許して。
Faintly, I can make out the click of the door. I'm still asleep, but the sound echoes through the haze. My eyes come open. Dazzling sunlight shimmers through the curtains. I check the clock and realize it's a little afternoon.
やば、学校。
I jump up from bed and quickly realize that today is a Saturday. I don't have to go to school today, though if I'm to be concerned about anything, it's that I stayed over at Quaid's place without saying a word to anyone at the mansion. Come to think of it, I had a strange dream. In it, I was talking to Quaid. She gave me a kiss at the end.
なんか緩み切ってるな、俺。
The fact that I had such a self-indulgent dream while Quaid was asleep right next to me is further proof that I'm drowning in happiness.
そう思うだろ、歩く。
I turn around to look at the bed. My sentence cut short.
歩くいど。
I stare at the bed in stunned confusion. There's no one there. Quaid is gone. I'd better get going. I remember now. That's what she told me in my dream.
ちょっと待て。
I quickly search the apartment. She's nowhere to be found. I only find one thing out of place. A single note left on the table. Is this some sort of joke? The note is short. Bye. Nothing else.
なんて。
I don't want to believe it, but I can't help but understand why she did it.
なんて。
This isn't right. Bye? That's all? It's way too simple. Didn't we make a promise? Didn't we agree to see things through together? I said I would help. So why? Why did you decide to go it alone again?
なんでなんだ、歩くいど。
Crumpling the note in my fist, I cry out with all my might. Only a few seconds later, I run out of her room like a madman to scour the town in search of her. I can't find her anywhere. I know. I know she'll never show her face before me again. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up. This would drive me mad. I need to track her down, to yell at her for being such a huge idiot, but I can't find her. And now I'll never see her again. I'm hit with the somber realization that it's all over. She'll take on Roa by herself, and when all that's settled, she'll disappear forever. It's possible she may have already done so, in which case, she's long since left the city. Just before the insanity sets in, I can only think of one thing. The awful screech of cicadas echo in my ears. I'm cicada's husk. My body's light, hollow, incapable of all thought. Is this what it's like when your soul leaves your body? I can't even cry. But the legs attached to this empty shell still walk. Like an animal relying on its homing instinct. Though nothing remains within me, my body guides itself back to its den. I awakened to the sound of Hisui's voice. After everything that happened, I returned to the mansion, where I must have holed up in my room until I fell asleep. A splitting pain emanates from my eyeballs towards the back of my skull, prompting a sigh. That's fine. Nothing unusual here. I take my glasses from their bedside spot.
四季様、どこかご気分が優れないのですか？
別に何もないよ。おはよう、翡翠。
I give an offhanded reply and force myself up. It's somewhat surprising the way I go through the motions. My body's on autopilot even though I don't have any appetite.
朝食だろ。大丈夫。すぐに行くから。
はい。それではお待ちしております。
She can even sense your mood, dude. Hisui's expression betrays a desire to say more, but she quietly leaves the room. I take a look at my phone. No new messages. It's Monday. Considering I returned Saturday night, that must mean I spent all of Sunday in bed. It's a little hard to believe, but I guess the fatigue of the past few days finally caught up with me. I change into my school uniform and head to the dining room. After finishing breakfast, I drop by the parlor. As usual, Aki and Kohaku are already inside.
おはよう。
I sit down on the sofa and absentmindedly stare at the clock.
兄さん、早起きなのはいいことですが、今日は学校があると分かってますよね。
ああ、そっか。学校には行かないといけないよな。
That absolutely slipped my mind. With nothing left to do, I was fully prepared to keep going on as an empty shell.
俺には俺の生活があるもんな。何もやることがないなら、とりあえず学校に行くよ。
兄さん。
Akia shoots me a suspicious look. My mind isn't present enough to think of an excuse or explanation. In the end, I leave the mansion without saying another word. Nothing strange or exciting happens. I couldn't say how many classes I've had today. All I know is that I'm sitting here, digesting the lecture without aim or purpose. Chalk clacks rhythmically against the blackboard. My right hand copies the equations and formulas scrawled on the blackboard into a notebook. Unbidden, I glance out the window at the schoolyard. It feels like I've done this before. Of course, there's no one outside. What am I doing? Why am I attending classes like a good little boy at a time like this? Why am I returning to my regular student life without even bothering to look for her? It's pointless to wonder. I wouldn't have had any way to look for her even if I tried. She chose to disappear. There's no chance of me finding her again if she doesn't want me to. Which is why I'm certain, this time, I've lost Arcade for good. A snapping sound rises from above my desk. It's nothing to be concerned about. I just grip my mechanical pencil too hard and snap the plastic. The class ends. As the din of chatter spreads over the room, only I remain silently seated, as though class had never finished.
殿、ちょっと来てください。
The The physics teacher calls out to me.
はい。何ですか？
I move to the front of the classroom.
ちょっとした確認です。最近夜遅くに繁華街の方で君を見かけたという報告が届いていまして、覚えはありますか？
Nope, not at all.
あります。ここ数日、深夜の街に用がありましたから。
Alright, half truths it is.
おっと、本当でしたか。
The physics teacher dons a troubled expression, then gives me an apologetic nod.
遠野が夜遊びする生徒でないことは知っていますが、職員会議で問題に上がっていてね。生徒指導部の先生方が遠野と話がしたいそうだ。そういったわけだから放課後は茶道室に行くように。
Message relayed, the teacher leaves the room with a nod. Class is finished for the day. When I pop into the tea ceremony room, I find it totally empty. The school doesn't have a dedicated counseling room. Usually, the counselors will use the faculty room or an empty classroom, or an unused club room, like they're supposedly doing today. I think the tea ceremony club was disbanded a long time ago. That sort of thing just isn't popular in this day and age. Kneeling down the tatami mats, I wait for someone to arrive. I bite my lip. There's no time for this, yet I don't have any other choice. With clubs suspended and classes being let out early, the school is growing quieter by the second. This is seriously pissing me off. Here I am sitting on my ass, and for what? My own uselessness is making me seethe. I've got no way to vent, so I sit here like some empty husk, doing whatever I'm told. There's no answer. Tucked away in this empty club room, irritation grinds away at my chest as I await the coming of night. Are you serious? Who the hell kept me waiting this long? With a resonant click, the second hand proclaims the coming of 6 o'clock. Nobody ever showed up. The school currently closes at 4, and teachers are supposed to leave by 5, which would make me the only one left on campus.
忘れられたかな?
Why'd you stay that long? It crosses my mind that this may be a good thing. If anything, it gives me an excuse not to return to the mansion yet. It's not that I don't want to return, I just can't. Not yet. I relax my posture and get up on my feet. This tea ceremony room isn't half bad. The lonesome silence helped me come to my senses a bit. It gave me plenty of time to think. About what to do. About what to prioritize. I'm going to look for Arcade, even if it might be pointless, go back to the mansion, find Roa myself. Well, I can already guarantee 2 choices that will work out. I can either go for 1, which is look for Arcade, even if it might be pointless, or find Roa myself, which makes the most sense because if I can't find Arcade, if I find Roa, I find her. I'll need to go back to the mansion. I'm getting sick and tired of getting bad ends, though. Alright, let's look for Arcade, even if it might be pointless. Look for Arcade. No matter how impossible it may be, I can't think of anything else. I'll keep searching until I find her. I won't let her condemn herself to being alone again. This isn't how it ends.
Yoshi.
My mind is made up. The next move is clear. I have to get to the city and track her down by whatever means necessary. That's not a moment to lose. My feet tread through empty hallways. The school is bathed in the flame-red glow of the setting sun. They say the sun sets quickly in autumn. In less than a few minutes, the world will change. Night will fall. The sky above has already grown dark. Black meets red at the horizon. As day and night intermingle, I find myself floating in a moment of vague twilight.
Oh.
Glancing up at the evening sky, I notice something unexpected. The moon is already out. A flawlessly round face watches me from on high. The sight makes me forget myself for a bit. The silver moon. Its delicate edges carved into the surface as beautiful and pristine as blown glass. A vision so pure, so pale, so vivid, it feels like it might come crashing down on me at any moment. I feel like I saw the same moon as a child. In a deep, dark dream. Oh no. A sharp pain erupts from the scar on my chest. My heartbeat explodes. Blood vessels throughout my body dilate as my breathing turns erratic. Bringing a hand to my chest, I find my uniform has been dyed a deep crimson. The wound is opened up. It's bleeding. That means someone is near. It's kind of like your spider sense, right? It's hard to breathe. A terrible chill runs across my back like a sheet of ice against the skin. The shaking is painful. So painful, it feels like my spine might rattle its way through my flesh. A dull sound mixes itself with the frantic beating of my heart.
Oh.
Oh, great. Someone is coming. From the other end of the hallway, a figure casts a long shadow across the floor. There, even, determined footsteps echo through the building. I have a bad feeling about this. It's different from Vlov, when I could feel the danger whip through the air like a raging wind. This time, a latent fear, born internally rather than externally, makes my entire body pulse. Pain flashes through my skull. This agony, this sense of impending doom, they're aimed at me. On a primal level, I know that Shikitono, shouldn't lay eyes on this figure. Take off your glasses then. I freeze in place. It's already too late to escape. I can't show my back to this thing if I want to live. Through labored breaths, I remove my glasses. There you go. I unsheathe the knife hidden in my pocket. Oh, I see the point. The shadow approaches. It's a tall man. There are shockingly few lines crawling across his body, and the ones I can see are hard to make out. But in exchange, the pulsating point at the center of his chest seems to scream. It beats like a heart, pulsating with a proud immortality. My own heart beats in turn. My breath catches in my throat. So many questions crisscross through my mind. I don't know this person. Yet I have this inescapable feeling that he resembles someone. The footsteps grow ever louder. He's coming closer. Soon, I'll be able to get a clear look at his face. My heartbeat harmonizes with his steps. Who does he remind me of? Who does he remind me of? Who does he remind me of? Who have I forgotten? As if to match me, the man stops in his tracks. He's still far away. The red of the setting sun obscures his features. But I do see the glimmer in his eyes, observing me like a snake poised to strike.
私が思うに、人間の一生は主題のない本のようだ。
A sonorous voice resonates through the hall. Even though it's calm, gentle, even it sends a chill up my spine. No, it's more than chilling. Never before have I heard a voice revolting enough to make me want to hurl.
本は片手につかめるほど小さく、髪は年月にかすむほど脆い。水に濡れる、火に炙られる、自らの手で切り捨てる。過去の出来事など常改ざんされる幻想だ。しかるに。
I ready my knife. Lowering myself into a crouch, I estimate the distance between us. Instinct insists there's no time for thought or hesitation. But reason stubbornly pushes back. And for a fraction of a moment, I hesitate to kill.
君という個人もまた不出来なテクストに過ぎない。人生はあまりにも曖昧だ。その自覚はあるか、塔の式。
I burst through the dam, holding me back. Anxious that I've lost my chance, I dash forward with all the speed I can muster. Never before seen display of physicality. In a single breath, I closed the 10 meters between us and cut at his lines. But I was right. It's already too late. If I closed the distance in a single breath, he slipped behind me in the blink of an eye. I'm too slow. He strikes at my hand and robs me of my knife. Those glowing blue eyes scan my body, drinking in the lines that cross my flesh. It's as if I alone am struck in slow motion. The corners of his lips are drawn into an amused grin.
残念だったな。死を見るのは何もお前だけの特権じゃん。
Oh, so we did. Oh, it's you from before. He turns my knife against me and stabs it downward. My spine freezes. My brain follows soon after. The rest of my body recalls the pain of time when this exact thing happened before. Oh. Ooh. Oh no. The wet sound of metal tearing flesh. White steel slices through my chest as if it were paper. I collapse. All strength leaves my body, and I fall towards the floor. In that moment, I finally get a look at the face of the man above me. Yeah, it's you. You killed me before, dude. My vision goes dark. I don't know his face. And yet, I remember. I remember this flowing stream of blood. How could I forget? He's the boy from that summer day. The one who was drenched in blood, now all grown up. I hit the floor. Strangely enough, I sense neither pain nor the spilling of blood. The knife still protrudes from my chest. My temperature drops. My consciousness fades. And little by little, my body begins to lose itself.
お前が殺された狩り、確かに返却した。もはや思い残すこともないだろう。噴書の時だ。塔の式。
The man casts his words into the void. Damn! How did I forget for this long? 7 years ago, when we played in the Tono Mansion, me, Akiha, and one other child. We were always together. Even when Akiha and I would play, I'd meet up with him before we went and got her. So how? How could I forget his name?
Shiki. そうだよ、シキ。本当に久しぶりだ。まあ、いささか遅すぎたようだな。 この体の持ち主塔の士気はたった今消え去った君への復讐を完遂して
So you're Roa now. The man speaks. The man whose name sounds like mine. Shiki Tono. Shiki. Shiki Akiha. Shiki. Shiki Akiha. Shiki. The markings we carved, written by 3 different hands.
ほんま
そうだ私が君の目的だこの肉体に転生した吸血鬼姫君の敵対者
And he happened to be reborn in the same body of the guy who also has the eyes, the mystic eyes.
それも今夜限りの異名だ
The man's tone is light yet cruel. Something about him is far viler than Vlav. Through my fading consciousness, I realize who this is. It's Arcoid's enemy, Roa.
さてそのナイフはもらっておこうかじきに消え去る君には不必要なものだろう
I still see your lines, pal. Roa's fingers reach for the knife. They furl around the handle, ready to unsheath it from my chest. The second he does, I'll die. But there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have the energy to shut my eyes, let alone move my body. He's gone. Just like that, Roa's body disappears from sight. In the same instant, a figure clad in a nun's habit appears. With a shattering of glass, she came tumbling through the 3rd floor window. Ah, CL.
でけん
数秘門による来帝ですか。どうやら完全に入れ替わったようですね、ロア。
先輩
That's CL from my school. As if to protect me, a person who should have been long gone now stands before the vampire. The 2 of them are evenly matched, but that's only for as long as the sun is still up. A moment passes, then Roa bursts out into a manic laughter as if struck with a sudden realization.
そうかそういうことか女想定すらしていなかったこんなケースもあるのだな素晴らしいそれでこそだ800年繰り返しての転生だ1度や2度の特例がようやく発生したわけか
Roa continues his rapturous laughter, but CL simply glares at the vampire in disgust.
どうした私を殺すためにやってきたのだろうそれとも何かやはり抜け殻には何もできないと
CL doesn't answer. Instead, she turns her gaze to me and pulls my fallen body off the ground.
ほう私との因果を断つよりその偽物の方が大事ということかだがそれは無駄だぞ彼はもう助からない今まで塔の士気が好き放題やってきたことをそのまま返してやったのだからな視線を裂かれた者にはどのような治療も無意味だあの姫君でさえ蘇生するのに800年の歳月と引き換えにするしかなかったただの人間に死から逃れる術は
A voice of pure derision fills my brain. CL bites her lip to force back the resentment which she seems to rage within her. Though she clearly wants to unleash her fury, she holds back. It's obvious why. She's restraining herself to protect me.
おう、承知しているよ。転生完了お疲れ様。この時を待ってたぜ。 ようやく会えたな、バルダムよ。
A child's voice rings out from Ciel's chest. Is that Mario speaking through a microphone?
何者だ。随分と私に来やすいようだが。
この町に派遣された司祭代行だよ。名前はマーリオ・ジャッロ・ベスティーノ。てめえならこれで意味が通るだろう、ヘビー野郎。
ベスティーン、ラウレンティスの隠し子だな。そうか、まだ生きているとは驚きだ。どうやらそちらはそちらで愉快なことになっているな。
ああ、おかげさまでな。じいさんは今も正気じゃねえよ。で、どうなんだ、てめえ完全にバルダムヨンか。転生は成功したんだろうな。まだだったら遠慮はいらねえ。あと7日は教会からの支援は止めておくから、さっさと目を覚ましてきな。
改めなさい、司祭代行。それは教会への背信行為です。
小酒、てめえに言われたくはねえよ、シエル。つうか安心しろ。使徒は例外なくぶっ殺す。その前に拾っておかなきゃならねえお宝があってな。ジジイの密命といえばお利口なてめえも納得だろ。で、どうなんだ赤社のヘビ。今回はちゃんと思い出したか。下脱の方はどこにある。
不老不死が必要なほど老いたのか、ラウレンティス。だ、私は確かに書き残したはずだ。人のままでは完全な不老不死は実現しないと。私の職を漁った盗人ども、この忠告を受け入れなかったのなら自業自得というほかない。
選ぶってんじゃねえよ。要は未完成のまま放置したってことじゃねえか。じゃああれか、ジジイが望むような不老不死は存在しないと。
残念ながら私の研究は魂の分野に切り替わった。肉体に関する研究はそれこそ下手の横好きだ。理論だけで実践の域には達していない。そんな不確かな儀式は魔術とは呼べない。それは呪いというのだ、ベスティ。
つまり
徒労だったな。不老の解決法はない。せいぜい健やかに死ぬまで苦しめ。
A fearsome silence fills the room. Mario's disappointment is tangible even through the cackling of the microphone. There's despair too, hatred, rage.
呪いと言ったな、バルダムよ。
そう言った。あれらは私が開発した魔術基盤。魔術に疎い聖堂教会であろうと、司祭代行であればその成り立ちは知らされていよう。
引き上げろシエル。仕留めるのはまた後だ。このヘビ野郎は数で潰す。
Ciel steps onto the broken window frame with me still cradled in her arms. He watches us with a slight grin, making no move to halt our escape.
たまらん、立ち去るな。何分私は忙しい。こうしてロアとして地上に出た以上、姫君はじきに訪れよう。歓迎の支度に念を入れなくてはいけないのだ。
Ciel turns her back to the vampire and leaps down from the window. Despite us being 3 floors up, she makes the jump as though it were nothing. She lands softly, departing the school without even looking back.